This is coming to you from John Wayne's 26 Bar Ranch in Eagar, Arizona. Flying the Russian L-39 jet. Put on the helmet, bring the visor down, adjust the chin strap, bring down the canopy, and lock. Then check the instruments, hit the starter switch. The APU unit roars into action, and we have engine start. Checking all of the instruments to make sure everything is working correctly. Then call the tower and tell them we're ready to taxi. Adjust the speed brakes. And we're ready to roll. The Aero L-39 Albatross is a high-performance jet trainer aircraft developed in Czechoslovakia in the 1960s and is a perfect aircraft to make the tour around Arizona to see all of the great sights. Many people in Arizona call this John Wayne country, because he made so many films here in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. The L-39 jet has very good high-speed characteristics and very good low characteristics. So it'll be perfect for a quick tour of Arizona and what is called John Wayne country. After clearance from the tower, we line up on the active runway, add 100% power, and we're on the takeoff roll. And we have rotation, gear coming up, flaps coming up, and we're now off into the wild blue yonder. We take up a heading to the northwest for our first visit to Monument Valley. After a short flight of about 1/2 hour, we start into the sand dunes that go in to Monument Valley. We bring the power back and go down to a low altitude for a good look-see.
Monument Valley. In the far reaches of northeastern Arizona, this corner of the Navajo Reservation has inspired explorers, writers, and Hollywood directors. With formations named the Emperor, Castle Rock, Mittens, Stagecoach, and the Big Chief, It is no wonder this roughly 100 square miles of land has inspired and delighted so many.
John Wayne would make 3 of his greatest westerns here in Monument Valley, starting out in 1939 with the film Stagecoach, that would make him a star. Then, in the 1940s, Fort Apache, and of course, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. After a short flight to the west, we come to Lake Powell.
In 1880, Civil War General William Sherman compared Arizona to hell. All it needed was a little less heat and more water. Today, the state has more than 100 lakes and one of the highest number of boats per capita of any state in America. Where Arizona's rivers have been harnessed for power and irrigation, vast reservoirs stretch for miles behind dams. Straddling the Arizona-Utah border, Lake Powell is the second largest man-made lake in North America. Here you'll find major canyons and nearly 2,000 miles of coastline, more than the entire western coast of the United States. Rainbow Bridge, a natural wonder now accessible from Lake Powell. At 309 feet high, it's the world's largest natural bridge, tall enough to put the nation's Capitol building under it.
Then, a little further to the west, following the Colorado River, we come to one of the wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, a chasm etched deep into the earth by the simple effect of water, gravity, and time. Writer Charles F. Loomis once said, "I have seen people rave over it, better people struck dumb with it, even strong men who cried over it. But I have never yet seen the man or woman that expected it." No other place in the world so clearly illustrates the passage of time. 25 layers of geologic history are revealed in these canyon walls. As the youngest rocks are at the top of the canyon and the oldest at the bottom, every step taken into the canyon represents 1,000,000 years of time.
Then, what the heck, we just did a good roll to the left. Then just a short flight towards Flagstaff, Arizona is Sunset Crater and Meteor Crater.
Meteor Crater. Formed when a meteorite smashed into the Earth, Apollo astronauts trained here in preparation for missions to the Moon.
Then a turn to the south towards Sedona, Arizona, known as the Red Rock Country. John Wayne did 2 films here, one in the 1930s and one in the 1940s, which was his best known, The Angel and the Bad Man.
South from the San Francisco Peaks in Sedona lie some of the world's most photographed rocks. The red Supai sandstones were first shaped by the waters of Oak Creek, then by wind and rain. The Mogollon Rim marks the center of the state, separating desert from the mountains and mesas of the Colorado Plateau. Here and throughout the Colorado Plateau, ruins remind us of ancient cultures which once inhabited this area and then mysteriously disappeared.
Then we take up a heading to the east, back toward the White Mountains, and we'll stop in Springerville to refuel.
Arizona is blanketed with the largest stands of ponderosa pine in the country, much of it found here in eastern Arizona. Here, the forests are alive with antelope, deer, turkey, and elk. The rivers are filled with trout. The White Mountains are home to the Apache, who believe these mountains sacred. Snows provide winter recreation opportunities, and ultimately, water for Phoenix.
John Wayne's old ranch, the 26 Bar Ranch, is located just to the north in the foothills, near the two little towns of Springerville and Eager, Arizona. After refueling the aircraft at the Springerville Airport, we take up a heading to the west to the Salt River Canyon.
It has been called the Mini Grand Canyon. The Salt River Canyon winds its way from mountain forest to desert in a mere 100 miles. Built in 1911, Roosevelt is the first of 4 dams creating a chain of lakes on the Salt River, resting place for melted snows from the White Mountains.
Now that we have a full load of fuel, we take up a heading to the south toward the Salt River Valley, where Phoenix, Arizona is located.